This is Gianni Russo. This is the guy. He is the author of a fascinating book, which I could not put down. It's called Hollywood Godfather, My Life in the Movies and the Mob. Good to see you, my friend.
Thank you, Steve. I appreciate you having me on. The show, I know what you do with the show. It's great. So it's a privilege.
No, it's the other way around. You grew up in Little Italy in the 1940s, or say?
Yeah.
Describe the neighborhood at the time, because by the time I got
great.
there, it wasn't the same neighborhood.
I know. I would get down there every Sunday when I can, and it's totally changed. No, I mean, that whole 8-block square where I came from, 8, 8, and 8, was only Italians.
That's
and
it.
That's before the Chinese crossed over Canal Street.
Yeah.
But now, you know, most people left and went to the other boroughs and didn't make the investment.
Went to Jersey?
Went to Jersey, Staten Island, Brooklyn, all over.
By the way, if you do, I know you know this, but Gianni, I just to get ready, and because I wanted to do it, I watched The Godfather again. I mean, he was just fabulous every time I see it, playing Carlo.
Carlo.
Not a nice guy. How could such a nice guy play such? And by the way, tell folks, your first acting gig at that.
Yeah, first time I ever acted.
And your teacher was a guy named Marlon.
Brando. I'm the only person in the world that can.
By the way, see him right there. I'm sorry. That's Coppola. That's Al Pacino, and you're right behind. Go ahead, pick it up from there.
That's we're rehearsing for the christening scene, coming out of the church, and he's going to tell me, Carlo, I'm sending the rest of the family out to Vegas. Go home and wait for me. And like a fool, I went home and I waited.
And as I read that section of the book, and by the way, if you haven't seen The Godfather, which I find it hard to believe, make sure you do. As you write in the book, Marlon Brando told you that it was important that you demonstrated clearly that you were afraid because you knew your life was on the line. They were about to kill you. And he said when they gave you the ticket, they were going to send you away. Look at the ticket, quote, to make sure it was real. Am I getting this wrong?
Oh, no, that's perfectly right. No, but the thing is, you know, with probably most of the audience don't know, that's the first time I ever acted. So I was never in front of a camera, didn't know protocol on a set. And Brando, who first tried to get me fired, then became my friend, and he mentored me through all of those scenes, believe me. I mean, and the only scene I really feel I acted in was the end. All the rest was physical and violent. But when he told me, you know, that, because I read the script, obviously, I know I'm going to go through the windshield.
And you had to keep putting your foot through that windshield.
Yeah, but that was the hard thing. The thing was to try to look afraid and know that I'm not dying or thought I could leave and convince the audience. That's why he said, look at the ticket, and when he asks you who approached you, look around the room. Don't, you know, and he told me all these great nuances, fortunately, that the scene stands up.
You know, one of the things in the book that I find especially interesting is that this Godfather movie almost wasn't made. That there were folks like Joe Colombo at the time, major organized crime figure, and others in the mob, and you knew these guys well. You were you had relationships with them.
Well, I was born in the neighborhood.
Frank Costello was
my man, though. That was it.
Was he a father-like figure to you?
Definitely, right till the day he died.
And look up Wikipedia, Frank Costello. You said that in some ways the mob did not want this movie made, and you intervened to make it clear to the mob guys that this movie should be made, and if it were to be made, that they potentially would have parts in the movie.
Well, not only that, you know, knowing the mob as I did by that time, because I was 25, and I was in the neighborhood, you know, Costello reintroduced me to that whole world.
You were running errands, if you will.
Yeah, exactly. And I still am. No, but anyway.
I'll leave that alone. Go ahead.
But, you know, I knew the mentality of them. It's always about money. And Joe Colombo was told to stop what he was doing.
He had this anti-defamation thing,
right,
which he wound up getting killed in Columbus Circle, but go ahead.
Because of that.
Yeah.
And they came to him and they said, listen, you got to stop. You are, you know, he had his own family, a Colombo family, and you don't pick at the FBI building. And, you know, he had this whole thing about, you know, the reason he did it, I don't know how many people know that, his son was arrested, and he was trying to protest the treatment of Italian Americans.
So the FBI was after Italians?
Yeah, that's what he said. Well, we always had a saying.
FBI stood for?
Forever bothering Italians.
That's right, that's right. But here's the thing. You went to some of these guys and you said, look, first of all, you wanted the movie to be made very much.
Well, my ego. I mean, I wanted to do this movie. I always wanted to be an actor, and I wasn't going to go through the trials and tribulations. And so I knew if I can get this done, and I'm giving you a fast version, I don't know how much time we have, but I knew if I can get it done, my payoff was I play Michael, Sonny, or Carlo.
You knew that?
Oh, that was the deal.
And Coppola told you that?
Coppola didn't tell me that.
You just knew.
Coppola didn't even know the deal. No, I met with Stanley Jaffe and Bobby Evans.
Over at Paramount?
Oh, yeah.
Let me ask you something. You know the scene I'm about to ask you about. You and Sonny.
Oh.
So you and James Caan, who played Sonny in the movie, let's say the hothead brother as opposed to Michael or Fredo,
Right.
You had some history with him. I would read the book to find out the story about Carmine Persico in the back room where he tried to pull a prank on you and said he's there with his daughter back there. It was a young woman who wasn't his daughter, and you...
And I knew Junior a long time. So when he came to the bar...
Junior, otherwise known as Carmine Persico. Go ahead.
Right. But fortunately, the two guys I was with, one was Tommy Bellotti, who got fame by getting killed in front of Sparks with Paul Castellano, and the other guy was an underboss, Boozy DeChico, with the Gambino family. Jimmy didn't know that. So when he came over, because he actually thought he got a button. When he got the part, he actually thought he was a made guy. He was so crazy.
That's what it meant to say get a button. But so in the scene where you have beaten up, you have hit your wife in the movie, played by. She actually was played by Coppola's sister, Talia Shire.
Talia Shire.
So you do that. He comes after you. He throws a bat at you, which wasn't in the scene. The bat hits you.
Oh yeah.
And then he gets you, and you said he chipped. He actually was hitting you with the top of a garbage can.
See, the thing we rehearsed it actually for 2 days, so it was all choreographed, and I didn't know. We got this mark, that mark. So they have all different tapes on the street, and we did it. It was perfect. Now the day of shooting, as you said, he improvised with a club. The club was never in it. And he must have been practicing all night because he threw it once, hit me right on the head.
Right.
And I went down behind the car, fortunate so I didn't cut there. And then they said, "Are you okay?" And I said, "I'm all right, let's go." And then he throws me over the railing.
Remember.
And he beats me up. He chipped my elbow. And then I'm crawling out to the hydrant. He lifted me up and broke 2 ribs.
He kicked you in the stomach.
He kicked me in my rib cage and lifted me up.
Greatest thing about, I'm going to ask you about 2 people. Pacino was great because?
Great actor. I love Pacino, even now. I put him in Any Given Sunday.
You did that.
Yeah.
And by the way, up here, Robert De Niro says Gianni Russo walks the walk and talks the talk. What a life, a worthy read. Help other people understand this. By the way, you were in the hospital for 5 years with polio as a kid.
Right.
And what hospital?
1949, Bellevue.
No one in your family visited you.
Well, they couldn't. See, but understand
Were you
this.
quarantined?
Yeah, I was quarantined.
Jesus.
She had 7. That's why I still have a very bitter taste in my family, about my family, because of the fact that, how do you tell a 7-year-old kid what quarantine is? I didn't even know, I mean, the word was hung over the door. I didn't know what it said. But, and I actually came out of the hospital very bitter and had a thing that I needed to get over with because I was so, well, you know how I got out of the hospital. We don't want to tell them that.
No, read the book to find that out. And the time I have left, I want to ask you this. Godfather changed your life. You get business out in Vegas. You got a great business going out there. The legacy of The Godfather for you, in terms of its impact in your life, how would you describe it?
It's my life. It's my whole life. Even right now. Even for my grandchildren right now. I am the spokesperson for Corleone Family Products throughout the world.
Continues this part, which first had time acting. You knock it out of the park. By the way, you lost to Diana Ross, I think, in some.
Oh, so many people.
Yeah, yeah. No, and there was an award you were up for. This changed your life. How did that change American culture?
Well, I think what it did, it defined the mob in a good way, I think. Almost too good. Because for years, people are still, animating these guys. And there's so many wannabes, I think, because of that movie.
This is Gianni Russo. I have to tell you, there are a lot of authors who come here, and I don't get a chance to read all the books, but this is a book I could not put down. Hollywood Godfather, My Life in the Movies and the Mob by Gianni Russo with Patrick Piccarelli.
Piccarelli,
Imagine I got that wrong. Thank you, Gianni. Honor to have you, my friend.
My man, thank you.
This is PBS. That's okay. That's Gianni Russo. Stay with us.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 30 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by RWJ Barnabas Health, the New Jersey Economic Development Authority, the Northward Center, the law firm of Gibbons PC, Community Food Bank of New Jersey, Fedway Associates, and by Adler Aphasia Center. Promotional support provided by the New Jersey Business and Industry Association and by Insider NJ. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.